We're back with office cold calls, and today we're going to see if Kanina's in our office. Hi, Kanina. You're being office cold called.
Oh boy. Okay, come on in.
So how are you doing today?
Fine. Are you hungry?
I'm just had lunch.
Are you sure? Because I've got these lovely treats, and I always want to make sure everyone has enough food. You sure? Would you like a bar?
Okay, maybe for later.
Does anyone like pho noodles?
Maybe later. Yeah, we'll talk after. How long have you been teaching here, and what courses do you teach?
Oh my gosh. Well, I started teaching here in 2012, and I was part of research back in 2010. And I was the executive director of a nonprofit. I was also the director of the Ministry of the Environment. But my husband kept telling me he'd never seen me more happy than I walked out of an Ivey classroom. So I went back and I did my PhD, which I finished in 2020. And so I've been teaching on and off and then full-time really for about 5 years now.
Awesome. And what's your favorite thing about Ivey students?
I love feeding students. There is nothing better than coming out of a meeting or coming around with a box of Tim Hortons Timbits, right? And watching faces just get so excited. You probably want a serious answer to that question though, don't you?
And if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Someone I would love to have dinner with is a philosopher named Hannah Arendt. And she was a Holocaust survivor, and she did a lot of work and thinking about responsibility, which is what my PhD is focused on. And she talked about collective responsibility, and she talked about the banality of evil when thinking about we have this expectation of leaders to be virtuous or to be evil, and somehow we would be able to tell that people are evil. See, I told you I get really serious too. You sure you don't want to eat something?
And if you weren't here at Ivey, what do you think you would be doing?
I'd be with animals. You want to eat something?
One last thing, I see you have a lot of great knickknacks here in your office. Can you give us a quick little tour?
I would love to. My passion next to animals is hoarding. So we could start over here. You're too young to know this, but way back in the day, there wasn't a thing called the internet. And so in my 20s, I was involved in setting up the first e-commerce internet intranet system for the Dow Chemical Company. And unfortunately, BIT has had a little bit of a hard time over the years. This was from one of the groups that I had led, and they wrote a beautiful few words with a timepiece, a boomerang from a colleague who was in Australia. I had a boss many, many years ago, and I used this with my students. My boss had said, in life and in work, you're going to have a lot of times where you feel like you're being hammered, right? And you can let that get you down, or you can put a big smile on your face and think it, don't say it. Screw you. But the reality is life is tough and you get hammered a lot. A little sense of humor will get you a long way.
Well, this has been great. Lovely tour. Great answers to our questions. And we'll catch you all in our next office cold calls. Thanks.